Hi, folks. You are now listening to Hello China at 103.2 Dublin City FM. The program is co-hosted by UCT Confucius Institute for Ireland. I'm Tian, producer and presenter. And today we also have Sam and Xinyu here. Haven't seen you guys for a week. How are you?
Good. Glad to be back.
I'm great. What about you?
I feel so good today because on my way to the station, I saw the flowers are blooming. That means spring is coming, finally. I love spring so much.
It's a big deal for the Chinese, right?
Yes, big deal. For most people, spring is a season for renewed hope. And in China, we have an old saying, one day's plan starts with the morning and 1 year's plan starts with the spring. So it's time to make up your mind in a season of hope. Guys, have you got any plans for the new year?
I can't say I do. I'm just looking forward to the summer, really. I know Xinyu has some ambitious plans. She's going traveling.
Really, Xinyu?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to travel to UK during the 2 weeks study field next week. And also, I'm going to travel to Germany, France, and Italy after the final exams.
Wow.
And last but not least, the most important, I'm going to transfer at Hong Kong when I go back to China and maybe take a few days to go around.
Quite a lot of places.
Yeah,
a
some of us
lot
have
places.
more exciting lives than others.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. So what are we going to talk about today?
Today we're focusing on Hong Kong. We're going to let our listeners learn a little bit about the history and then give some travel tips.
Yeah, that's good for me because I want to go to Hong Kong in the summer too. And I noticed that we have a new face today. Hi.
Hi, I'm Grace, an exchange student from Hong Kong. I'm now studying in UCD for 1 semester. It's so exciting that this time the show is about Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Sure, we definitely have to talk about Hong Kong. It's a really great place. I've been there and I really love to go back.
Yeah, and speak of Hong Kong, I have a story that I have to share with you guys. If you still remember, during a Christmas break, I went to one of my Irish friends' house, and she asked me a question. Is Hong Kong part of China? Sam, has this question ever occurred to you?
Definitely. It's a really common question. There's a huge amount of misconception there. I mean, I think most people are aware that Hong Kong was a British colony, and they are aware that it was since ceded back to the Chinese, but most people don't really understand what the relationship is there. And it's understandable because it's complicated.
Yeah. And my friend thought because Hong Kong has their own Hong Kong dollars, you know, mainland China, they use the renminbi or yuan, we call it.
Yeah.
And in Hong Kong, they use traditional Chinese characters, but in mainland China, we use simplified Chinese characters. And most Hong Kong people speak Cantonese instead of Mandarin, and we cannot understand each other. And even Hong Kong have their own currency and stock and even legal system. Then my friends think, why is still part of China? It's not. It's simply not.
Yeah, very different. And also the education system.
Yeah,
completely different education system.
So Grace and Xinyu, I guess you have encountered those kind of questions as well, right?
Yeah, actually, I asked some of my Irish friends, have you ever been to China? Some of them answered me, no, I haven't been to China, but I've been to Hong Kong. So it seems like Hong Kong is not a part of China. It's so weird, you know.
Yeah, I'm from Hong Kong, and when I go traveling to other countries, when I arrive at the immigration department, and then the staff will ask me, oh, is it Hong Kong a part of China?
Everybody's so confused.
You think the immigration staff would know that one.
And I think to make it clear, first of all, the answer is yes, Hong Kong is definitely part of China. But to explain this, we have to go back to history, right?
Right.
Xinyu, you're going to take us through a little bit of the basic history?
Yeah, sure. Actually, Hong Kong became a colony of the British Empire in 1841, and it wasn't until the 1st of July in 1997 the sovereignty was transferred from the UK back to China. It officially ends the 156 years of British rule. And after that, Hong Kong became China's first special administrative region. China espoused an ethos of positive non-interventionism following the colonial era, which has meant that Hong Kong has been largely free to govern itself with minimum intervention. This time period has greatly influenced the current culture of Hong Kong.
I mean, Hong Kong is a real melting pot. I mean, when I visited there last year, the real thing that strikes you is the clash of cultures, East meets West, right down to even things like dual languages and signs.
Quite interesting, East to the West.
East meets West,
Wow, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's in everything. It's in the layout of the streets, it's in the street signs, it's in the dual languages everywhere. And I mean, even though the population of Hong Kong is 95% Chinese, that other 5% of other cultures really make themselves known. They have a very strong influence on the city, and its situation as a special administrative region is really key to the whole discussion. It's what makes it unique.
Yeah. And Hong Kong is is unique also because it used the capitalist system instead of socialist system like the mainland China. Yeah. And because of this, when is the time of reunification? Actually, Hong Kong people were very worried about this, right?
Sure. Actually, a few years before Hong Kong is returned to China, there were quite a lot of Hong Kong people worrying that Hong Kong will lose its political and economic independence. So there was a period of emigration from Hong Kong to other countries such as Canada, Australia, America. But after Hong Kong has been returned to China in 1997, people realized that the principle of one country, two systems had ensured Hong Kong enjoys a high degree of autonomy. And actually now we are proud of being a part of China because we get the economic support and military protection from China.
But at that time, I know those businessmen, they moved a lot of money out of the Hong Kong to other countries.
But they moved back a few years later.
That's good.
They were understandably worried, but as it turned out, everything was fine. The Chinese government actually went so far as to amend their constitution to allow for them to create Hong Kong as a special administrative region. And now it operates under its own mini constitution known as Basic Law. It still operates under the capitalist system. It's a very successful financial center known throughout the world.
And the former premier of China, Deng Xiaoping, proposed the idea of one country, two systems during the early 1980s. Sam, have you ever heard about this
I have
policy?
heard about it, It's a really interesting policy because basically means that China still has sovereignty over Hong Kong, but it actually has no real administrative function there. It's run entirely by, Hong Kong actually has a CEO. It's unique that way. It's a city run by a CEO, and it's really successful that way. It's a very non-interventionist type of government, really a lot of political freedoms, a lot of economic freedoms.
Yes, this policy suggested that there would be only one China, but areas such as Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan would have their own capitalist economics and political systems, while the rest of China uses the socialist systems. Under the suggestion, each of the three regions could continue to have its own political system, legal, economic, and financial affairs, including commercial and cultural agreements with foreign countries, and would enjoy certain rights in foreign affairs. Taiwan could even continue to maintain its own military force.
And it's definitely proven to be a very good decision on the part of the PRC. As you can see in success in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. The Portuguese influence in Macau is still very strong. And also equally successful as a result. So as experiments go, very successful.
But actually, I think when we talk about the independent authority of Hong Kong, it is still a quite sensitive topic, because I remember in 2000, the former premier of China called Jiang Zemin and the first executive of Hong Kong called Dong Jianhua, they were in a news conference. And a Hong Kong reporter asked Jiang Zemin whether he would support Tong Chee-hwa to seek a second term as a chief executive of Hong Kong. Jiang answered, yes. Then the reporter said, so you mean the central government has already appointed Dong as the next executive? And Jiang turned very angry. He stood up and said, you guys are too simple and sometimes naive.
This is a famous sentence.
Yes, it became a joke later on, but it shows how sensitive this topic is.
Yes, really. There has been debate about that. I mean, when Hong Kong and Macau were still under Portuguese and British rule, China recognized that they were under the administration of those respective governments, but still claimed that they had sovereignty over them. And they always maintained that you can't actually separate sovereignty and administration. So it led to the question, when they got Hong Kong back, why didn't they administrate it themselves? So obviously there's always been sort of a question, do they have more influence there than they let on? It's
and a question would become more complicated because the time when Hong Kong was returned to China, is during the economic recession, right? Xinyu?
Yeah, I think that's a big downturn after the Asian financial crisis, and also the stock market's really. I think it makes the problem even worse. Yeah,
and it came right after a time of unprecedented growth. I mean, from the early '60s to the handover in 1997.
Exactly.
I mean, Hong Kong's per capita GDP grew 87 times.
Damn, great job.
Yeah, you know a lot.
Yeah, expert.
So how's the economy of Hong Kong now? It's good, right?
I think Hong Kong's economy now needs China's support. Actually, China is rising, you know. Yeah.
I don't know whether this is the proper way to translate the title of Hong Kong, but I know that it has been described as one of the 4 dragons.
Yeah. Four Asian tigers.
Tigers, okay.
Yeah, 4 Asian tigers, and the dragon is China itself, actually.
Okay.
Asian tigers are South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong itself.
Yes. So Hong Kong is quite good now.
Yeah, and you've got up-and-coming states known as the Tiger Cubs. You've got like Indonesia, Malaysia, and just basically it's entirely related to their economic development in recent years.
Yes. But I think apart from all those economic things, the biggest advantage of Hong Kong is it is the paradise for buyers, right?
Oh,
shoppers.
It's a shopper's paradise. Yeah, it's definitely one of the benefits of the East meets West. You got all the best brands.
That's
and you have
why I want to
Asian
go
prices.
there. That's why I want to go there during the summer vacation.
Of course, I can be your guide.
Thanks.
Yeah. I think a must-do in Hong Kong is to go shopping because of the low taxation. Actually, some of my friends went to Hong Kong just for shopping. When I was traveling in Hong Kong last year, I bought a lot of cosmetics, and I think they are even cheaper than those with big discounts here during Christmas in Dublin.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I think so. Yeah. So, and also I got perfume for myself, my uncle, and cousins. So,
Wow.
yeah.
You bought a lot of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
You're going